Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. This time coming to you on a Tuesday. What? We're trying things out. We'll see if it sticks, but for this week, we decided to give it a go. If you could go ahead and just hit the like and or subscribe or both right down there below or off to the side or wherever you're listening to us, it'd be greatly appreciated. I know it's probably pushing it, but a share to just like even one person you think might like it, that'd be awesome. Anyway, with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first segment.
It's called Stylin and Profile.
Thanks, Rick.
You were quicker with the button press this time compared to last week.
Internal patterning set in, but I executed flawlessly.
I don't think I did this shirt. I'm at the point where every shirt I look at, I think I've done. It's just a My Race Pass shirt. So, I mean, we both use it probably more than most things on our phone, especially come racing season. So I
Oh
wanted
yeah,
I wanted at the Wissota 100. They had like a thing you could spin a wheel, and I got a shirt.
and that's
Actually,
what
I don't
you
even think I
wanted.
won the shirt. No, I didn't win the shirt. The lady just gave me one. That's what it was.
Oh, because you're so handsome. But right on. No, we're not sponsored by them, but we wouldn't mind being sponsored by them for what it's worth. Um, we were both staring at MRP a lot this weekend. I
Yeah.
imagine we'll probably touch on that here in a minute, but for sure. Anyway, so I'm with you. I'm at the point now where I'm a little unsure if I've done some stuff, but I'm pretty sure I know I've worn the hell out of this hat, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it. So this is a dirt tracker hat, and then on the front here, I get asked questions all the time. What is that? It's a silhouette of a sprint car driver sitting in a sprint car seat.
Oh, okay. Now I can see it. But
Yep.
yeah, before, if you didn't say what it was, I don't think I would have figured it out.
Yeah, so I actually like it. He's got some other silhouette ones that are more obvious, like a silhouette of a late model or a sprint car or something. But I think this one's kind of unique. So I wear the crap out of it. It's super old and in pretty good condition. It gets washed all the time because I'll catch myself at a dirt track and be like, oh no, not the light gray one. So it's sturdy too, not a plug. But I don't know. I'll just say this. So Dirt Tracker. I'm gonna get sidetracked for a minute. Dirt Tracker is honestly like kind of one of the coolest people in dirt track racing for me because he's like what stoked a lot of my interest when I was first getting interested. To have someone like regularly talking about the national news, totally like that was my intro to like hardcore dirt racing. Wasn't my local track. It was like Dirt Tracker and Flow Racing and Dirt Vision and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, given flowers where it matters, Dirt Tracker's been going at it for forever. That guy's been going at it, and I think it's kind of cool. He influenced me, I think, a little bit to finally find my voice and do this. So anyway, worth a mention. Again, not sponsored. In fact, we kind of sponsor him. We're on the supporters page at the end of every episode. I've been there for years at this point. So,
I actually heard of him like so long, like before Dirt Track was the thing, because he was on the Open Red podcast, which
yeah,
was the Outlaws like I remember listening to that, and then he like was off of it or the podcast ended, and then like a few years later he had his own show. I'm like, wait, I know this guy.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Just perseverance too, honestly, is just kind of keeping at it and doing it where you can, when you can. He's mentioned before it's not, never was his full-time gig until very kind of recently. It was just always work a full-time job and do your hobby and on the side and put effort into it and see what happens. But he spent a long time trying. So I guess it gives us hope, Carter. Just keep plugging away. Anyway, anyway. So, well, this again another weekend where we weren't at a racetrack. I mean,
No,
in fact, it's negative degrees where I am today on a Monday. It was like
we're
negative.
uh
Check.
we're up to 6, but it's super windy, so it definitely feels like less than 6
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So no racing to be had in the near future, but thank goodness we've got MRP from the shirt and Flow and Dirt Vision. But anyway, so this past weekend two competing shows. I think our interest was split between the two. I'll start with the one that's probably less traditional that we talk about, but the Chili Bowl. We had mentioned we may or may not get lost in the soup. How did you do? Did you have like a full helping of soup? Did you just
Uh,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner? How'd you do it?
I skipped lunch. I took a nap around noon, so I didn't watch any of that. But I was watching that during the first race. They started at 9:30. They started half an hour late. Shame on them. Um, but I was watching from then until it was over. Just a nap in there, and then I got distracted around like E-mains or something. But it was on the whole time. It was never not on a screen.
It was always at least there. You slept to it even a little bit.
Yeah, because I woke up at one point and I heard like Blake Anderson or something talking. I was like, let me just mute this for now.
I don't know if that's a dream or a nightmare, but it happened. Right on, right on. Yeah, I just caught I just had basically like dessert. I just caught the feature. I think I plugged in a little bit for the B mains, but not to like actually pay attention. It was just sort of over there. Um, so I watched it, but the feature was had some interesting storylines. Heading into it, I said I was most polling for Kyle Larson not to win, and I guess I got that. But I'm not sure I was super happy with how it happened. I don't think that's not what I meant. I I wanted to see him lose on the racetrack. I didn't want to see him clip a lapper and go flipping over and wreck out of the race on his own accord. That was less than ideal. Um, so yeah, that was kind of a bummer of the race, but otherwise, Axum kind of put him on him. What did you think? What did you see? You watched it.
Yeah, Axum. Honestly, it's bad. It's bad. I think I remember more of like the Q mains than I do the A main.
Oh
Um,
Lord. The
because
dangers of over soup consumption.
the one thing I remember is McIntosh and Grant. That's the one
Yeah.
thing. And then oh, I do remember. I don't know if he was or not, but the commentators were talking about because CV I believe took second, if I, or he was running second with like the last restart, something like
He
that.
was.
And they were talking about him maybe running out of gas, like coming to the last restart, because he was like restarting slow or something. So that was kind of
Mhm.
interesting. But the Justin Grant and Cannon McIntosh thing, I think, was talked about probably the second most thing talked about besides the actual winner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, eh, I don't. Grant. I can't believe how composed Grant was in the interview. To be completely honest, he took completely the high road. I would have been dropping f bombs. That was beyond ridiculous. I mean, he planted his right rear right into the side of that of Grant. There wasn't a could have maybe
He
made.
got Cannonballed,
He
as
got
Team said a
completely
couple
right.
years ago.
Oh, so bad. That was frustrating. At that point, I was also vehemently rooting against Cannon McIntosh at that point. Like, no part of me was like, "Oh, it happens." It was just a clear, just and I don't, whatever his intents were doesn't matter. When you watch that, you're just like, that was BS completely. So, um, but yeah, and then the other thing I was impressed with Axum. He kind of inherited the lead when Larson self flipped himself, and then he drove away for a while, and then it got tight, and he had a ton of restarts at the end, tons of challengers towards the end, and he just fended everyone off and ran a pretty solid race. So he he kicked butt. He may have actually beaten Larson if they stayed out there, but we'll never know. You know, that's the part that stinks.
There
So
was I wish I could remember their names, but I think there's two guys that broke like the soup record for like most mains through, like made it through. Like one guy broke it, and then
really,
I think a guy broke it later that day. I wish I could remember the names. I was watching it the whole time, but I can't remember their name. One of them, I can see the car, but I can't remember his name. Um, he's a sprint car driver. Oh, I'm not gonna remember it. I think he's
is
in Ohio. He's like in Ohio area. Oh well,
okay.
I won't. I can't remember.
Caleb Henry
No.
is just a random throw out there, and he's technically from California, I think. But uh, anyway,
Oh,
yeah, you can do a little bit of research. I didn't catch any of the soup, and I think I was a okay with that. You know, the one thing that I would say probably dominated the big screen for me, if you will, was NFL football. That's what I was most primarily concerned with. Um, yeah. You got it there yet?
No,
You're struggling, my
the only
friend.
place I know where to look is Wikipedia, but he posts so
Oh,
much. I'm at
Lord, he
like D
posted so
mains.
much. Yeah, you're good luck with that. I think we'll have to abandon ship and we can come back to it
Oh,
next week.
Darren Nida, that's his name.
No more than I say it, do you find it perfect. Uh, interesting. So he set the record. How many?
He made it into. I think he made it into the G main. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, I believe. I don't know if he made it past the G main.
But he raced in 8 of them, so that's pretty
And then there was another guy who I haven't heard of, Mac Leopard, who he might have been that one that broke it. He also has eight.
okay.
Oh wait, it's more than that. The most in a day was nine. Okay, so he was past nine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
great.
Those two guys though were I think both broke it. I don't know who actually has it, but they both broke it. Darren Knight is the one I heard of though.
All right. Well, right on. So I guess that was your that explains why you were more crap. Anyway, that explains why you were like, I can't. The features a blur because there was so much to take in, and they started at 9:30 in the morning. So
Yeah.
and and multiple records broken. That is one of the cooler parts of watching the Soup is just hearing guys chasing records or seeing records broken or seeing a guy that has no business being as far back as he is and just seeing how many he can squeeze out of a car before
One
you
one
know
of
he.
these days I just want Larson to like have the worst possible qualifying night and he's in like one of the 9 a.m. mains and just see how far he gets.
See what he can do. I to be honest, I don't think he could make it. I just think between the amount of racing you're doing and the
Yeah, I don't
just
think it's like I don't know. I don't think it's possible to make
yeah.
it, but I think he could make it pretty damn far.
Yeah, if anyone would give it a shot, he'd be as good as bet as anyone. But um anyway, kind of like I was saying before, the one thing that dominated my interest more than anything this weekend was the NFL playoffs. So like I had racing on a laptop almost all the time, sometimes two races on a laptop, but if there was a good NFL game on, I had the NFL on. Um, and I actually went and hung out with my sister and my brother-in-law this weekend and watched two. I watched a game each day over there, just kind of get out of the house and go see folks and hang out with my nephews and stuff. So that was really fun too. I enjoyed that. But um, the Bills Broncos game was was probably my favorite. Well, anyway, we
I
got
think the
two good
Bears
games.
Steelers was my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can pick Bears Rams or either
Or
one was
yeah,
good.
I think I said Bears
Yeah,
Steelers.
you did. I just
Bears
walked past. I was
Rams.
like, I think he slipped up. Similar-ish colors.
I
They
don't know
both
where
have
I got Steelers from.
they both have gold. But anyway, they were good games. Um, the it's actually really a bummer that the storyline heading out into next week for what I kind of want to talk about though is the bummer is that Bo Nix got injured late in that game because he stopped Josh Allen. Everyone was saying, I said last week, like Josh Allen had all the pressure, like everyone's out of the playoffs. All your boogeymen are out of the playoffs. You have to like this is your year to win it. And Bo Nix is the one who stops him, and then he turns out to have a broken ankle and is done for the rest of the
Yep.
playoffs.
That
Oh,
kind of
just
sucks because I feel like, I mean, hopefully it doesn't, but we might just have a blowout in the AFC Championship. But the Broncos defense is so good, they might keep it close. But like, I think it's going to be a repeat of Texans Patriots game where like like the defense is stopping the Patriots, but their offense can't do anything, so it doesn't
can't
matter.
do
Like,
anything.
if
Yeah.
they allow a couple touchdowns, it's over.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good summation of the Texans game too. Is like the defense hung in forever and they just offense gave them no help at all. Like the bajillion and one turnovers. But yeah, I'm interested. So I have the Alabama sign up there. I went to Alabama for school. Um, so roll tide, obviously, but I'm aware of Auburn, and I think it's interesting that Stidham's the backup here because he was the quarterback before Bo Nix at Auburn, and so they're like not even that far apart in age. But Bo Nix, I feel like, was in college for forever, so it'll be interesting. And then you got the storyline of he used to play for the Patriots. I think he was drafted by the
Yeah.
Patriots. So now he's playing against the Patriots. So, I'm sometimes a sucker for a storyline. That'd be a good storyline, you know. The I think someone I think our buddy Brad called him that at one point he was the heir apparent to Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
because he was drafted in Tom Brady's last year there in
Yeah, yeah,
2019.
yeah. So interesting. So interesting storylines abound in that one. On the other side, the Rams were the first team to. They just kicked the Bears hard enough and knocked the horseshoe out of their ass. Is kind of what it seemed to happen. They just kept hitting them hard enough and finally fell out. But dang, the Bears! I really wanted them to win. I really did, just to keep that crazy magic. What will happen next storyline going? Um,
I want them to lose because they're a division rival of the Vikings. But like as the game was going on, I was like, I think I said this to my cousin. I was like, I hate the Bears, but they haven't been good enough long enough yet for me to hate them like I do. Like I hate the Lions now. But when the Lions first started doing good, I was like, oh, I don't mind them doing
they're a
good.
plucky bunch.
So I was like still like okay with them. I wouldn't want them to win the Super Bowl, but I was like okay with them winning. But I think if they continue being good for like another year or two, it's like all right, we hate them too. They're on
Yeah.
the list of hated teams.
uh I get that like passion. I think I just sometimes we highlight our difference of opinions. I think I've kind of just grown past it. I'm just like the Vikings are the Vikings. I mean, memorabilia or not, I'm just they'll always be what they are. At this point, I just want good football, good, compelling, interesting football. I wouldn't care if it was the Packers. I've been known to root for the Packers a time or two. And
No,
I know
no.
that should be blasphemy, but hey, our team's done. I just want good football. Just give me good football. That's I don't care
If
which teams are
if the
playing
Packers
anymore.
are in the playoffs, I would be happy if it was a 55-0 blowout, them losing. That would be just as good of a football game to me as a 50-51 game.
Nah. Back in the day, though, I would have totally agree with you. I have a buddy of mine, one of the a buddy I went out to dinner with this past weekend, my buddy Ricky. He would completely agree with you. He would completely agree with you that the Packers getting decimated is better than any fourth quarter comeback or overtime miraculous catch. And I can't get there anymore. I don't have that much. Anyway, so but yeah. I'm looking forward to this weekend, and I said last week, and I'll say again this week. This coming Sunday is the best single day of football to me. Um, so I'm really looking forward to next Sunday. I think we've talked enough about it. We should maybe make some picks. So I think I don't know. You know me to be contrarian, so I'll let you go first in. I'll let you go first in the AFC. So who do you think is going to win in the AFC?
Well, now that the Broncos don't have a quarterback, Patriots. I think I still would have leaned Patriots anyways, but Patriots.
Yeah. See, I think if Bo Nix is healthy, I probably would have leaned Denver. Truthfully, I think I would have just because that defense is good and they're in Mile High, which I think makes a little bit of a difference for them.
Yeah.
Um, and so because of all that, because I would have, and the storyline's awesome with Stidham being the former, backup to in Patriots and supposed to be the guy. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I'm gonna take the storyline. I don't know that it'll make for a very good Super Bowl, but I'm gonna take the storyline and say the Broncos. And then in the NFC, on the NFC, this one's I don't know. This feels like it's gonna be a good game, but it also a little bit feels like old hat. Like we've already seen this twice this year. We know
Yeah.
they match up good. Um, and it is a little unfortunate because the Seahawks completely maimed the 49ers, and they're also a division rival. And now I'm just almost like, oh goodness, are they just a wrecking ball? But so uh, I'm gonna go with okay. I'm gonna match your energy, and I might be taking your pick. I'm gonna meet you halfway on this one. I'm gonna take the Rams because I really don't think I can handle Sam Darnold making it to the playoffs 1 year after, or making it to the Super Bowl 1 year after playing for the Vikings. I don't think I can handle it. So I'm gonna go with the Rams, and I also want to see Stafford do win another Super Bowl and then retire. I think that'd be cool.
So I would have
So
I would have went with the Rams prior to this weekend, like these past games. But after what the
okay.
Seahawks defense did, it's not because of Sam Darnold because he didn't do anything in that game. He had like 150 yards. He didn't do
He did
nothing.
what he needed to do.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker and the defense did everything over there. But I'm just gonna go with Seattle just because of their defense, I think.
Okay.
As
And
much as
you
I would
think,
hate Sam Darnold to be in the Super Bowl.
man, well, tables turned quickly there. I preached how I couldn't find it, and now here we are, and you're
I,
rooting for
I, I
Darnold.
I do want the Rams to win. Well, one, because I don't want Sam Darnold there, and I think they're more fun to watch, but they like struggle against the Pan. I feel like they have the two easiest playoff games,
That is true.
and they
That is
struggled
true.
to win both of them.
That is true. But they won both of them. I don't
They
know.
did win.
I don't I that whole Stafford thing of like he's can win an ugly game. You know, like if it's an ugly game, if the NFC Championship is just like a slugfest, the balance tips towards the Rams heavily, I think, because they have the quarterback that can make something happen in an ugly game. Whereas I don't feel like Darnold needs everything to go right,
Yeah.
and he just needs to not make mistakes. You know, like don't make mistakes and we can win. But if it turns out that he does that and they're not pulling away, then it's heavily going to be a Rams or in the Rams favor. So something to watch. Interesting, just because I don't know. I like dogs. Matthew Stafford's a dog, dude. He got the shit kicked out of him for like a decade in Detroit. You know, like, and he's still going. Um, so anyway, other than that, Wild West Shootout took a lot of my attention to, but in a kind of a different way. So we got invited to play in I don't know, like a little bonus game, I guess you will, for the Wild West Shootout, um, from a couple people that we know, and that was really fun. I mean, it was a little like time consuming, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like you had to pay attention throughout the show because basically what we were doing is picking a driver in every heat, every B main, every feature, every race. Basically,
Yeah.
we were taking a guy, and then you are scored based on passing points. So if he went forward, you got bonus points for going forward. If they finished higher up in the running order, they just got more points for finishing up in the running order. Um, that was actually pretty fun. It made me pay way more attention to the Wild West
Yeah.
Shootout
I mean,
than I
I
think
I
I would have
was I
otherwise.
wasn't locked into it, but I was way more into it than I was if I wasn't doing it. I probably would have only been on the screen like Sunday night, honestly. Like
Mhm.
that might have been the only day it got any airtime, but I had it on Friday and a little bit of Saturday and of course Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, for real, kind of same here. I wouldn't say I was totally locked. When football wasn't on, that was on that was got promoted and it was on the big screen. Um, but yeah, I definitely followed generally more along. And then like it kind of snuck up on me a few days though, of like around 4:30. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta look
Yeah,
at
I was, I like would remember at like 1 o'clock and it's like, okay, lineups aren't posted, so I can't do anything. And then I'm doing whatever and I'm like, oh shoot, it's 4:30 right now. I should probably enter my picks in.
yeah, yeah. So um yeah, those guys were good about kind of reminding everyone that the group chat would pick up right around the time you did. And it's like, oh, that's my morning. I gotta go look. So, um, that was pretty fun. So anyway, it managed to keep my attention a little bit more. The headliner obviously is the late models in the mid part of the week. We kind of got, I think, a little bit of some snoozer races, or maybe not quite as good or not as memorable to us. But Sunday
Well,
was.
Wednesday was when Dotson won, wasn't it?
Oh, you might be right. I
And
don't
that
know,
was,
man.
I remember that one being good because Hudson like got a flat or broke or something while leading.
Oh, that was the original Hudson and Bobby incident when
Yeah,
Bobby got into his tire. Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. And then Dotson wheeled around. You're right. You're right. So, well, that was that makes that little bit of information makes what I was going to kind of talk about even a little bit more relevant. But on Sunday, we had a little bit of drama in addition to what amounted to kind of a butt kicking if you look at how much he's paid out. But had a little drama with Bobby and Huddy O'Neal getting into each other, racing for the lead about around midway of the race. That's kind of wild. The most memorable part to me, Huddy's save. That was good.
I wish I did throw a caution. They should have just stayed green.
They should have just stayed green. Although he may have sunk way further
Oh,
back.
he would have dropped way back, and I had him
He
picked, so
would
it would have hurt me more. But I think it would have
have.
just, I think it would have been more entertaining because like, um, Herb and someone else got by both of
Oh
them, or
yeah.
got by
Yep.
Bobby. So it would have been interesting to see if he could have got back to the front or
Could have
not.
raced it back. Yeah. I do agree with that. You make a point. It would have probably ended up ultimately being a more compelling race. Um, so Bobby says afterwards something like, "I'm not trying to start a,
Just
I'm not trying to start a rivalry with Huddy," but um, two different incidents, and I think on both, Bobby kind of looked like he sort of started it, if you will. So if he's not trying to start a feud, he's doing a good job of it by accident. So anyway, um, and then a guy I was hyping up going in. I thought JD was gonna kind of show out this weekend. He did not.
but one day he
Um,
showed out. He took second last night.
yeah, yeah, which was pretty awesome to watch him cut up through there from 23rd or
23rd, I think
4th.
it was.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so dead last on the field, essentially, last row of the field,
Hmm.
and he came all the way up to second. So should have picked him. But that was kind of interesting. Overall, I don't know that I really left with any strong feelings one way or another. If anything, I think the Wild West Shootout showed that maybe we might be in for a year of a little bit of parity across the board here. Thornton was there one time and won in Daniel Adams' backup car.
Hmm.
So other than that, I think maybe Huddy won twice and there was a different winner every other night.
Yeah, Pierce, JD, or not JD, Dotson, and I feel like I'm
Dotson,
missing one winner, but oh,
RTJ, Jared
Alberson,
Alberson
Alberson.
won one
He
too.
smoked
Yeah,
him Saturday night.
he smoked him Saturday. Yeah, and picked up decent check. Bobby, they had that lap leader bonus on Sunday again, and Bobby led almost all of
Yeah,
them.
he
So he
left with like 50 grand.
yeah. Yeah, he made a ton of money too. So anyway, so I think going into the late model season at least, it looks if there were any headline to come out of this, it looks kind of like we're a little wide open. We were missing a fair bit of guys that are gonna, we didn't have your Morans or your Huffmans or anything like that, but of kind of the big guys that were there, kind of wide open still. So we shall see. Um,
Oh, you know what I did notice? I don't know. It seems like every year it's like, oh, I wonder if Shepard's gonna get better. And then the start of the new season comes and he's in a B main. Like, and I like him too. I want him to do good, but
yeah,
every single like end of the year he like picks it up a little bit and it's like, oh, okay, he'll be back next year. And then the new season starts. We're like what, 2.5 months from the dome when like I feel like he was still like, okay, he's pretty good, and then now he's just back to normal.
yeah, it is
They're not normal. I mean, slow normal, I guess, not normal from 5 years ago when he was still dominant.
right back to what we're used to the last 2 years at
Yeah,
least.
it's
Yeah,
B mains and stuff. I don't know. I hope he gets it
yeah,
figured
so far
out.
fine.
But
Me too. I mean, he's in the family car, which I don't. I mean, that's not the car he's going to be driving here when Lucas starts up, or I don't know, maybe not even the car he's driving in Speed Weeks. I don't know how that's all going to shake out, but um, maybe but he's been better and he's been gooder in that car than he's been in the Rocket sometimes too.
yeah,
So I
sometimes
guess
he's
I
better in
don't.
that car. So
Yeah,
I don't know. He's just slow like lately, and I feel like I thought he would have turned it around 2 years ago, and he hasn't.
I mean that might be a storyline to watch. I mean, honestly, it. He's got young kids, a wife, he's got a shop, he's got his race team. Like it's not insane to go. Dude's priorities are kind of
Yeah,
elsewhere,
not just on
and
racing
right,
24/7.
yeah. So he can still compete, but it's just, you're right. Heck, I commented on a Chase Holland video not too long ago when they were talking about maybe he might, not race at all this year or race really limited. And it's like, bro, you've earned it. Like you've worked hard for a couple of years. You can take your foot off the gas and then go back to putting your foot on the gas anyway. So random aside, but interesting thing to follow. We'll obviously be seeing if he picks up speed or not. I want him to be
Yeah,
fast.
I
It's like,
hope he's fast.
yeah, I really do. So just be something to watch. Good call out there. Because he is almost forgotten in a way. If you hadn't mentioned that Brandon Shepard was not in any part of what happened, he was just there,
He was there. Yeah, he was just hanging out.
Yeah, which I think is entirely your point. It's a bummer when he's only just hanging out and not running up front with everybody. So interesting, something to watch. The the class that I thought captured my attention the most was the X mods, probably because of the game again, though, because that was the one class you could just take a Wissota modified guy somewhere in the teens, and he was going to drive forward. It's just Wissota mods on Central Arizona to me look like Wissota mods on
Midwest mods.
Midwest. What am I saying?
You're saying with soda
Lost.
mods.
Wissota Midwest mods. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a whole word in there I'm
because
missing.
yeah, if it's just with soda mods, it's no wonder they're
Uh,
driving forward.
no, Well, yeah. Yeah, it's totally unfair. Although I think the one Wissota mod that was there did drive forward both times, by the way. That was Blake Adams, the 2 nights he was there.
But he was
But
in
anyway,
his
no,
Midwest mod.
he
He
was
had
also in
both
his
cars.
Midwest mod. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had both cars.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were
But
saying he was
in the
running his mod there. I was like,
yeah,
no wonder he
yeah.
was winning.
Yeah, no. But in his mod, when he raced with the mods, he went forward. So I
Yeah.
butchered this because we have too many damn mods and not missing words. But anyway, watching the Midwest mods in the X mod feature was like watching Midwest mods at Ogilvy to me. It looked like the same lines, the same blocks, the same passes, and the same names. And the same names. So they put on a show. I had wondered out loud if they were going to be like what the Minnesota contingent was going to look like. And for who showed up, they showed out. That's for sure. I imagine we're going to see a ton more next year.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Probably. Um, but anyway, I want to give a special call out to Jake Smith. He won the week long points thing and he passed more cars than anybody there on the property. I'm convinced of it. But his stat line was crazy. He had 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds in 6 races. That was 6 races, 6 podiums. Didn't matter if he started like 24th or if he started 7th. He was finishing on the podium. So that was kind of cool to see. And
They
then
also,
Lucas,
I would say they also crashed, like had crazy crashes there too, the Midwest
they
mods.
did. They did.
There was the Trantina one, which was that last weekend or was that Wednesday?
That was Wednesday. Yeah, he showed up for one day, and I think that was it. I mean, it was Rex. It's time to go
Yeah,
back
because
home.
him and Schrader ended up upside down in that wreck.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was the wall ride thing Sunday night. And
Was
then I
that a
think
Wisconsin mod?
wow, was he from like South Dakota? I thought they said he was from like South Dakota or something.
I don't think so. I don't
I
remember.
don't know. It was either way, a guy rode the
That was a
wall.
lot. Yeah,
And then
that
I
was
think
a
there
lot.
was one more in there too that was pretty crazy, but I can't remember. That
Yeah,
like all piled in. That might have been a normal mod. I can't remember. But
yeah. Yeah, that Trentina crash was wild. I texted him afterwards and just said I was glad to see he was okay and hope he feels good the next day. So, yeah, that was crazy. And then the dude riding the wall, he was like so close to just going straight
leaving
off of
the
it. Yeah.
park.
Oh my goodness. That would have, oh, I'm so glad. Whatever. I mean, the hit he took looked awful, obviously, but I'm glad he didn't go out of the ballpark. That probably would have been worse.
Yeah, that would have. I can't remember if it was Cocopah or it must have been Cocopah because the wall at Central Arizona is new. But I remember an Arizona race, Cam Reimers like left the park, and I was thinking it was Central Arizona, but it was Cocopah. They're the same thing to me at this point. Central Arizona took over Cocopah essentially
For now,
for
for
now.
now, for now, for now. But yeah, and then yeah, they definitely did. They probably put on the best show, if you will, between passing, racing, and wild stuff that happened. The X mods definitely delivered in that respect. On the mod side, the I think the really only worthwhile storyline was, at least in the second half, was that Jeremy Payne, who I mentioned a couple weeks ago, was coming back. Um, he took like a duck to water, man.
Yeah,
He struggled a little the first night. Second night drove to the lead, and third night started on the pole and just didn't leave a doubt. It's
when
basically what.
I was watching the third night, I was like, was this the guy that was like hasn't raced? Because he didn't look like the guy that hasn't raced in forever. I was like, is this the right guy or was it someone else?
Yeah, that was him. That was him. If you'd have been listening a little bit closer, and no offense, no, not to knock you that you weren't, but by the last night, Trenton Berry's love of Jeremy Payne was overflowing so much that even Ben and DJ were kind of giving him crap about it. Like it was pretty funny. But Trenton Berry was very adamant that Jeremy Payne was the real deal, and like he was talking about his time watching him up down the road and how he kind of was just figuring it out when he stepped away and everything. So it's hard to argue with him. The results the results kind of bear it out. So um I'm just hopeful. I'm just hopeful after that this is not a one-time thing. Like I've expressed my love of the modifieds and USMTS and big time modified racing. And so this dude came out and put a whooping on a pretty good field of cars. it also kind of goes to show the type of piece that Cade Dillard builds for what it's worth. But dude put a whooping down on a very good field of cars. I hope we see him more. I really
Yeah.
do. I hope he's at the King of America or whatever else pops up. Sounds like he kind of came off the road to go have a family and build a career. So I know we're not. I don't think we're going full time racing again, but it'd be nice to see that dude at some more stuff. It'd be nice to see Jeremy Payne at some more stuff because the modifieds are losing a lot of guys. So we gotta get the ones gone too soon back. Apparently, is what we gotta do. So I'm glad he was back in the car and kicking tail. But anyway, that was more or less my takeaway from the Wild West
There
shootout.
was one thing. I don't know if you how like much attention you were paying to the mod feature on Sunday night, but I think it was Tyler Davis that like hit the wall in turn one. And the interview after was that was kind of awkward to watch because he was like, no one came and checked on me because you're so worried about getting the show done because you spent all the time on the late models. And he's like, all
Yeah,
this is the late models. And Ben and DJ, they were like, well, everyone has their own opinion. That's kind of,
yeah. They
but
were
I
in a
feel like
tough spot.
he also kind of had a point because they almost ran into curfew. They went past curfew because they spent, I feel like half an hour doing late model interviews.
Yep.
And then if they didn't check on to see if he was okay because they just wanted to get him off the track and keep racing, I feel like that's also kind of a bad look. You should at least, I mean, he hit the wall pretty good. You should probably take a look and make sure he's okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? Like he did take a hard hit and the expense of the show shouldn't come at safety. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Uh, uh yeah, that was an awkward moment.
yeah,
And I mean kudos to him for sharing his opinion, right? Like he's been down for as long as I've been watching the Wild West Shootout, I feel like Tyler Davis has been down there at some point, right? So like he's been supporting this event. If he feels that way, kudos for him for airing how he feels because you know, those guys put a lot of time, money, and effort to be down there too. So anyway, um, but yeah, with that, kind of do as we normally do, transition into looking forward into the upcoming week of racing. Um, before we do that, you got anything? I mean, it's winter. We capped it up top, but you got anything interesting coming up this weekend? Anything outside of racing that you're doing? Then, because
yeah. This weekend I'm going to Milwaukee for the weekend. Friday we're going to a Bucks game. I've never been to an NBA game, so I got NFL, NHL, and I'll get NBA, and then all I got left is baseball. Is like the major four, and I baseball is so boring, so I got no plans on doing that anytime soon. Um, but then we're just doing touristy stuff the rest of the weekend. But it's going to be cold, and our hotel is like in walking distance of everything, which is nice, except for the fact that it's going to be like 3 degrees. So I mean, it's walking distance, but I don't know. At that point, might just get an Uber for the half a mile ride instead of walking in 3 degree weather.
Uh, can't blame me. If it's cold enough, you got to do what you got to do. So, um, I guess that's my storyline to watch. Did they take an Uber? But, who are the Bucks playing? Do you know off
The
the top of your head?
Nuggets. So it kind of sucks that Jokic, I believe, is out for a
Oh,
few. Like I don't think he's out. I don't pay enough attention, but I know he's
yeah, me
hurt, and
either.
I don't think he's going to be playing. So that kind of sucks because
Yeah.
him and Giannis would have been cool to see, but
Yeah.
I don't even
You
know.
had the exact same thought process I did. You said Nuggets, I said Yosik, and then you said hurt, and I was like, bummer. I don't.
Yeah, I don't even really know who else is on their team. I don't watch a ton of basketball. I know like some of the top guys, but I don't even
Same.
care. I wouldn't even care if the Bucks lose or win.
Right.
I don't care enough.
Right on, right on. Um, yeah, I'm actually sort of as I alluded to before. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I may or may not have a wrestling meet this next weekend. It's freshman sections, and my kid wrestles JV and is not. I don't know. I might or might not have. I have no. I'm waiting for someone to tell me if he wrestles, and then I'll either just show up or not. I might have the weekend off, which would be um, an interesting reprieve because the boys were in Florida this past week, so I had this whole weekend off too. I didn't have wrestling or anything, so 2 weekends off would be that'd be a change of pace. Anyway, moving along, um, there's a little bit of racing coming up. I think the to me especially, and definitely to our listeners, I don't know so much about you, but like I'm really pumped for the wall-to-wall coverage of the Winter Nationals that starts Wednesday. I really want to break down all the entry lists and everything, but just didn't have enough time. So maybe next week, maybe next week. But that starts Wednesday. We've got IMCA mods, stock cars, hobby stocks, which are, we do talk about those guys a
Yeah,
lot, so that's why it's mildly interesting. And then
sport
mod
mods.
lights, sport mods, and mod lights. Speaking of the sport mods, real quick though, a name that showed up, I think midweek, or at least I noticed in midweek, maybe when I started playing that game. But Cole's, is it Suko?
I think it's Suko, yeah, from Cresco,
Yeah,
Iowa.
yeah, from Cresco. I noticed him in the second half, the second weekend. Dude was wheeling it in the sport mod, man. He was throwing down with the Midwest
I
mods
I,
of the
th
US.
I think too that Tyler Johnson, the 75 car, um,
Yeah,
I think he was in a sport mod. I know he's a sport mod driver. I think his was like a sport mod as well.
interesting. Okay, so yeah, there were some guys they were throwing down just as good as anyone. So that is a cool class to see just all those different sanctions kind of be as close as they were, as
Yeah,
close as they were. Anyway, Um, so Winter Nationals is happening. If anything cool comes out of that, we might mention it. If one of our local guys or someone, we've both kind of have people we've mentioned repeatedly down there. So if people storylines we find interesting, we might mention it. Otherwise, I think that's the extent of our wall to wall coverage. Unless I get time to really dig into it next week. So stay tuned. Otherwise, we have the World of Outlaws is starting already.
yeah.
Like we're back into full time national late model
Oh,
tour.
it was, sorry, I just remember this. It kind of, what's crazy is, I think it was last night at the Wild West Shootout. Ben said this time last year they were in Golden Isles, so like that was a crazy like comparison.
Oh
Like
wow.
they were in Golden Isles for which means I think Sunshine Nationals it was before Golden Isles like last year. So like they like I knew it got pushed back, but it really put into comparison how much further it got pushed back, like speed weeks and stuff.
Yeah, that is interesting. And we did feel like we had a little bit more space between the dome and this and so that is an interesting comparison. I think anyway, I've been doing schedules for personal stuff and everything's kind of goofy this year. Like everything's happening a little bit later than it did. Just I think the way the
Yeah,
calendar fell
I know
this year. Yep.
September's weird. Like
Yep.
Super Nationals are like back a week. So like the
Yeah.
one which means the Wissota 100 is back a week and like I know it's super weird in September.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything's kind of a little wonky. But anyway, um, so we've got we've got Sunshine Nationals this weekend. World of Outlaws makes their debut. Um, we're gonna more or less know their at least starting class this week. With them going first, I guess there's an outside chance someone who hasn't announced may announce when they're down there. I wouldn't be shocked to see Donald Brashear go full time outlaw racing again. That wouldn't
Who?
blow me away. Exactly.
I was like, who are you talking about?
No, it's a real thing. Donald Brashear. Donald Brashear, former, he used to race way back. I think he's an actual former champion with Woo way back in the day or
No.
anything. But he shows up in Florida every year and like announces that he's or no, not Donald Brashear. I'm sorry, that's the car owner. I screwed that up. That's the car owner for Ferguson. I can't remember the name. I'll see it when
I
he
was gonna say, who are you talking about? Never heard of this guy in my life.
yeah. Now I could still be right, but no. My brain is doing that thing where I'm pulling the wrong name. So apologies for that. Now it's gonna bug me and we're gonna end this show and I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna tell you who it is. And you'll go, oh yeah. But the rest of our listeners are gonna have to wait till next week. Anyway, um, I don't really uh, I'm not like super concerned about who wins these races or anything, heading into this. It's just kind of cool to see the season starting back up. Um, so I think it's probably easier to talk about this show if we make a couple predictions or guesses. So I think I'll start with who do you think's going to win the World of Outlaws championship again this year?
Again,
Or who,
I
again,
think you
yeah,
already
maybe
said it. Bobby
tip
Pierce.
your hand. Who's going to win it this year?
Yeah,
You-
Pierce is winning it again.
Yeah, and as contrarian as I want to be, having looked at everyone's there, and it's a little bit deeper than it has been in years past. I still don't see anyone who's going to beat him over a year. I don't. I think
No.
I think I tipped my own hand at that as well. So we're kind of in agreement there. Is there? So that means the battle for second is more
Yeah,
interesting.
we discussed beforehand, like we were like talking about like what we should do, and I think I said like we should just do second because that's going to be way more interesting of a battle at first. With what Hoffman, Gustin, and Turbo now.
Turbo McCready potentially could
McCready,
be
I think
another
McCready,
one.
honestly, I'm gonna go with McCready. I don't know. I feel like he like came on
Really?
strong on the back half of the year. Yeah. I
Okay.
think, and with a whole year now with Briggs, I'm gonna go with McCready.
Interesting. I like that. A couple guys another ones to throw out there. We were maybe potentially having an argument about these same guys last year, but Dotson and Troutman are two other names that I think are worth throwing that consideration. And part of the reason is because I'm on the spot making a change who I'm picking. I'm gonna pick Drake Troutman, honestly.
I could see him doing that because
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, did he win any last year? He won a couple, right? One or
He
two?
won a couple. He won
Yeah.
a couple. He's kind of his second year with this team now, kind of getting settled in. And he won some big races last year, won some big money, obviously, in a modified. He just keeps getting better and better. And honestly, part of that is rooted in Hoffman has taken two shots at Pierce and not really given him a run for his money. Gustin's taken multiple shots at him and hasn't really given him a run for his money. So I don't know that those guys are maybe they're tapped out and they're very good late model racers. I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just saying maybe they're topped out. Someone like Troutman, who's maybe evolving still as a race car driver, maybe he's young enough to run hard like Bobby runs. That's part of what makes Bobby so good is what he's willing to do that other guys aren't and make it work. So, um, I don't know. It's a common. I was watching Blake Adams is much like that to me. I'm always like he's 16 and it shows because he's just willing to do things with the car that other guys are like, maybe not. And they work for him, right? They work for him. That's the other part. But anyway, so I'm gonna throw Trotman out there as the guy that I think might take second, and then the rookie class is interesting, but also maybe not interesting. I think we've got three guys. You know who the three are?
We have
Or
four
maybe four.
guys.
We got four.
We
We got
have
four.
Logan Zarin, Eli
Yeah,
Johnson, Trey Mills, and Dalton Wilson
Dalton
that
Wilson.
we could remember.
Yeah, that we saw listed. There may be more. Again, there may be more, but I think it's interesting. We had a knockdown drag out about this same topic last year, the World of Outlaws late model rookie of the year. I think we'll have more decorum this time, but yeah, who do you think? You got to pick?
I think we're in more agreement this year than we were last year. I think it'll be Dalton Wilson, but that's assuming his they stay on tour because I feel like the car they're with isn't one to to commit to a whole year of
Yeah,
something. So if he drops off, then my pick is Trey Mills, but I'm gonna go with Dalton Wilson.
yeah. I think I agree with you. If Wilson stays out and runs the whole thing, I think he should be the runaway, right?
Yeah.
Having run so well for so long with Lucas, it's almost crazy to think he is a rookie with World of Outlaws in a way. Um, so yeah, I would think he'd have to be the favorite, but to your point, that car has seen a lot of drivers and a lot of interesting things kind of happen with it. So if they don't get off to a hot start, he may not stick around. I do think by the time we get to the end, Trey Mills is going to impress either way. Whether he
Yeah.
wins the Rookie of the Year or whatever it is, I think that kid's going to be kind of, I think in 5 years, kind of the jewel of this class. I think he's got a very bright future. He's really young, dude. And you saw him win like Hell Tour races and
I
stuff
saw him
already, and
win
he's
at
won.
Macon, yeah.
Yeah, and
That
he's
was his
won.
first Hell Tour win, I believe.
Yeah, and he's won HTF races against the competition down there. Like the kid can wheel. So, if he doesn't run Rookie of the Year, I still think he's going to be one heck of a. Anyway, we should try to remember those and carry them through for a little bit, and maybe allow ourselves one change of opinion. So if something happens, we'll change opinion. It's something for us to follow along with and have interesting conversations about. So that'll wrap up our Sunshine Nationals talk. I think the big storyline for me, other than that, I'm going to circle back and just go. The reason I can't talk much about it is the part that's most interesting to me is just who shows up and what does these fields look like. But we're not going to know till it starts on
Yeah.
Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So no point in speculating. But anyway, I guess with that, Carter, it means we've touched on all of our pre-planned topics, and it's time for
The one for the road. And mine was something that came out like a day late, or else it would have been last week. And we mentioned him earlier, but I guess Cocopah is opening back up, and the new promoter is Travis Perry. Perry. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But he does track prep like all over the place. Like I know he helped out at Silver Dollar for some of Larson and Brad Sweet shows.
Nice.
He did Vegas and stuff when they still had stuff going on. So he's like a track prep guru pretty much. He was at Mojave Valley when I was there doing track prep.
Oh,
But
nice.
he's opening it back up, and they posted a schedule. I believe it's going to open in the fall of this year. They'll run some races, and then I assume next year be back to like a full schedule.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm curious how that'll work with like everything moving over to Central Arizona. If some stuff is going to move back to Cocopah, or how they're going to do it. I'd be curious. I don't know. I wonder what the distance is, because it'd be kind of cool if they did like the Winter Nationals at
Shows
both
or
tracks,
something.
like split, like
Yeah.
because it's like 2 weeks long. But I think they're a
Yeah.
pretty good distance away.
Okay.
Uh, let's do.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell Cocopah. How do you spell? There we go. They
Cocopah.
are. Oh, they're only 3 hours apart. You could.
Oh,
That's.
jeez. Hard to have a stay, sell it as a staycation and then be like, but there's a 3 hour commute back and forth.
Hey,
So,
they got those off days. That's what that's for. Drive 3 hours over to the next track.
oh, interesting. I don't think that'll happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see some more interesting shows pop up down there in
I
the
did see they have a race scheduled the week of what was the Duel in the Desert at Vegas and then Mojave Valley last year. So it
okay.
looks like they're going to try to. I don't know if Mojave's going to still have something or if it's just going to be Cocopah's show now. I'm not sure, but I saw they had something
Yeah,
scheduled.
interesting. Good call out there. I mean, that show used to be something cool, so it would be nice if someone could get it going, again and get some consistency. So, um, yeah. Anyway, for mine, I guess I'm gonna go back to the well. I'm gonna do this in opposite order. I'm gonna start with this week's one for the road. So, we've got the Sunshine National starting, and the week after is DIRTcar Nationals, and the mods race for like I don't know 3 straight weeks or something. But this weekend we get a little appetizer of who or what might be there. So back down at the southernmost dirt track in America, Hendry County. They're gonna have mods this weekend, UMP mods this weekend. I think they're calling it the DIRTcar Modified Nationals. So the prelude to the other one. But we've got Friday 2,500 to win, and then Saturday they're racing for $5,275 to win. So it should be interesting to see who goes down there to check it out. Uh, we're gonna have a ton of dudes in Florida racing UMP mods soon enough, so I wouldn't be shocked to see a halfway decent field, especially for that's one of the bigger payouts,
Yeah. I-
for this
For
speed
this,
weeks.
like the whole Speed Weeks, this is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, so I imagine we're gonna get a pretty solid car count. I did see that like Kurt Spalding is gonna be at DIRTcar Nationals. I also saw RTJ is gonna be an elite at DIRTcar Nationals. One of those might be at Hendry County, but I think RTJ, if he's in Florida, is probably just gonna be at Volusia
I'd assume so.
racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting choice to go to Hendry County instead of
Yeah.
Volusia.
I don't imagine that's going to happen. But then they were my one for the road last week. So just kind of closing the loop on that. So Diesel Jones won the Clyde Johnson contracting 100, which was incidentally 75 laps. And he picked up the $12,000 check to win. So I don't know much about the fellow, but he won a big paycheck. So good for him. But
Oh,
anyway,
mine too. The race I talked about, the Southern Thunder race at I think Waycross, that got postponed, so we'll probably never hear of
yeah,
it again.
yeah.
It was
Well, not on this show.
no, not on this show. It's still, I know it's still going to happen or supposed to happen, but by the time it does, I think we'll be talking about other stuff.
Right on. All right. Well, I think that's it.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone for hanging out. We'll see how this Tuesday thing goes, but we appreciate you hanging out with us again this week. And if you haven't yet, definitely please like, subscribe, share to one person you think might enjoy. We'd really appreciate it. And we'll catch y'all next week.
See ya.